It's 10 years of mr-agame. How exciting is that? And so to celebrate 10 years on YouTube, 10, I thought it'd be great to slow down and just have a little bit of a Q&A session. A Q&A game, if you will. I asked you guys a couple weeks ago to throw me all your hard-hitting questions, and here we are. I've got my coffee ready right here. There were hundreds of questions, so unfortunately I can't go through all of them, but I've tried to condense them all in questions that hopefully kind of rounds out everything that people were asking as well. So hopefully we can get this all done. Thank you so much for watching for the decade that you've been here. Let's begin. Let's get the typical questions that everyone asks in every Q&A out the way right now. So that way it's done and we're all up to the same page. My name is Jacob. I live in Adelaide, Australia. My favorite game is Super Mario Galaxy. My favorite Zelda game is The Wind Waker HD. My favorite food is spaghetti bolognese. My favorite color is red. No, Bella the cat has not returned. She's more than likely dead. And no, I'm not gonna play that series of game you've been asking for years on end. Great. Now that's out the way, we can get the real stuff done. Shork Pedo asks, I've been wanting to ask this question for years. What was the secret stuff you used to drink in your old Splatoon 1 videos? The stuff out of the blue bottle. It's not this blue bottle. There was an old Nike bottle that I used to drink from, and I used to emulate the secret stuff from Space Jam, where Bugs Bunny knows that the team is low on morale, and he makes the secret stuff. But in reality, it's just water. Having a bad day in Splatoon, I just drink some water. It's the secret stuff. Mentally, I'm ready. I go, I play, I probably lose, let's be honest. Quizzo asks, what is your favorite series you have ever done? My favorite series recently has been my What If series. It was a small series, only like 2 or 3 videos of just like, what if Mario had a shotgun? What if Mario Kart was 99,999cc? Just really out there videos that people wouldn't normally expect, but if you click on them, you're gonna have the best time ever. For older series, I reckon my Wind Waker series was just so fun.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
That was just such a good time. Really enjoyed that one. Shadow Wolf asks, yo, mra-game, I've been here for 5 years and you're still holding strong. My question is, how much longer do you see yourself making content? I guess as long as it pays the bills, then I'll just keep doing that. In reality though, I look at doing YouTube as my job, and I look at what it would be like if I were doing just a regular 9-to-5 job. And doing YouTube would be far more enjoyable and far more beneficial to me. So I guess I'll just keep doing this until it gets to a point where A, I'm not enjoying this anymore, and 2, it's not making enough money to pay the bills. Because if I'm not enjoying it, then like, what's the point? And if I'm not making enough money to pay the bills, then I may as well live on the street. Like and subscribe. All right, QP Edit says, congratulations on such an important milestone on your channel. I love the way you set the vibe and make it so interesting to watch all your videos. Thank you. What inspired you to start and create your channel? Great question. A lot of people have asked this. This was just the first one I saw. So if you did ask this question and it hasn't appeared on here, sorry, but this is the same question. Just bundle it all in together. I started this channel 10 years ago when I was a school teacher. In order to relate with the youths of today, I would explain to them that I love playing video games. And I would often teach in younger classrooms with like kids who are 8 or 9, and they'd come up to me and they'd be like, yo, Mr. A, do you like playing GTA 5? Do you like playing Call of Duty? And I'm sitting there like, you're 8. So I made this channel to show not just kids, but families that you don't need to be playing games like Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto that are crazily above your age level in order to have a good time. Frigid Blade says, congratulations, happy birthday to the channel, thank you. If you could choose any Zelda character from any game to be your teammate in laser tag, who would it be? And 2, who is your all-time favorite video game character? Laser tag in Zelda. Duh. I'll pick a Guardian. They're dead. All-time favorite video game character, Luigi. Oh, yeah. I am the second sibling from a family of 5, so when it was just me and my older brother, we would play Super Mario All-Stars on the Super Nintendo. Guess who was always player 2? And in turn, guess who was always Luigi? Me. What a hero. What a guy. He's got that nice green hat and the mustache of coolness. Thoron Bar asks, would you be willing to share any behind the scenes stats? I've always been curious with a channel so aimed at family friendly content. What are the age ranges of viewers? Ooh. All right. One of my favorite things is looking at the lifetime of the channel in terms of views and then seeing like big world events, how they happened and how it unfolds on YouTube. Here is when COVID started. And this went on for like a good 2 years. This is when Tears of the Kingdom released, so that's another big spike there. So this is kind of just trucking along in a stable way, but also a lot lower than what was going on back when everyone was in lockdown. I really love this section here. It shows when people are watching. So I kind of post my videos when it's a good time for when people wake up, but then it says publish time is not known to directly affect the long-term performance of a video. This shows who's turned on all notifications. Hint, hint. I love this bit here. Age and gender. Very fun. I love how it says age 35 to 44 years old are the most watched age. However, you got to take into account a lot of kids watch on their parents' accounts. It even shows you what devices people watch and the majority of where people watch from as well. In specific videos, it even shows you how long people watch a specific video for, and it has a graph showing your retention average and then whether it spikes at certain parts of a video or not. So that way you can kind of tell what works well, what doesn't, and then to try and implement that in future videos. I think it's really cool. YouTube gives you a lot of information to give you the best chance to succeed. It's just a matter of knowing how to use it. Hey A-Game, what is your favorite moment, least favorite moment, and craziest moment on the channel? Okay, here we got a three-parter. Thank you, Grant. I reckon my favorite moment was me finishing stream on my wedding day and telling everyone I'm gonna go get married because no one knew the wedding date. And so just dropping the bomb on them and then watching chat go, what? And then just logging off and seeing the chat just go ballistic. Unbelievable. Can't top it. I just realized I've done that for like every major life event, haven't I? Like getting a girlfriend, there was that whole still single phase. Then there was the engagement phase where everyone thought we broke up. Then there was the wedding phase when we went on the major holiday last year and everyone thought I was quitting. How good is throwing people for a loop? Imagine if I'm throwing you for a loop right now and you don't even know it. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is a very subdued, crazy moment on the channel, but during the COVID years, there was a live stream we did where there was over 2,000 people watching. And it was just like crazy, almost in a bad way, where my poor mods could not contain the chat because it was just going ballistic. Currently, I think the hardest thing about being a content creator is seeing people's critical thinking skills slowly get degraded the more time goes on. People will see a video title and assume the worst, and they won't even bother to watch a video. And then when they think that something has happened when it hasn't, they get angry, even though they don't know the full information to begin with. Literally, when I did the moving on from Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom video, people automatically assumed that I was done with all Zelda content altogether. And then when I posted my last video about Zelda minigames, there was an onslaught of people dragging me in the comments purely because they had the wrong idea to begin with. If they bothered to watch the video, they would understand where I was coming from and they would understand what my plans were for the future. But no, they just see the title and they're like, oh, he's done doing Zelda, I guess I better unsubscribe. And then they have the audacity to get mad at me when they haven't even bothered to listen in the first place. Even if I'm streaming just a random game and someone comes in the chat and says, hey, what game is this? When the game is in the title of the stream, it's in the description of the stream, they just have to use their eyes. It's not that hard. I'm gonna say something, and it might be controversial, and it might anger a few people in the chat, but I'm gonna say it. If you cannot find the tournament code, then you might be too young to race. Anyway, thank you for listening to me crash out about people just not being smart on the internet. Anyway, let's move on. Boko Player says, congratulations, Mr. A-Game. My question is, how many mugs do you have and which one is the coolest for you? Man, here we go. Oh man, I love talking about my mugs. Here is my current mug collection. It's a rotation of 12 mugs, all with different personalities and vibes. Got my Crows mug here. I got this mug from my friends at Hack the Dino. This is my Star Wars mug. This was Steph's mug actually, and she just brought it when we got married. I bought this mug for JP for a Christmas present, but then found out that he already had it, so now I have it, which is funny because I bought myself a World's Best Boss mug. I think that's pretty funny. We've got the Japan mugs from Nintendo Museum and Kirby Cafe. These two mugs are heat mugs, so they change color based on the heat. This one has the Sheikah symbol, which you can see that turns blue. These are just some other video game mugs that I've collected over years. This one's from Mail Time. But then we've got like the special mugs, which I don't really drink from because, as you can see, this one is difficult. This Donkey Kong mug you can drink from. It's just very big. So if you have a cup of tea, you're gonna be drinking that for hours. And this is a Christmas mug, so it's not Christmas time yet. I used to have a Wind Waker mug, but I dropped it. Benny Boo says, congrats, I remember I started watching your Mario Maker series and I've been hooked ever since. If you were not a content creator, what career would you be doing instead? Great question. I was a school teacher before doing all of this. However, if I were to be doing a different job now, I probably wouldn't go back to that kind of role. If I did have a career outside of YouTube, I would try and do something in the media, whether it's being a camera operator for sports games or working at the local news station or morning television. I think morning television is one of the greatest inventions of mankind history. Raw, stupidity, live TV, which no one cares about. I think it's the best. Mrs. Funk Fritter says, question, who's your favorite fritter? Funk, Mrs. Funk, or Apple Fritter? And congrats on 10 years. Mrs. Funk, you're missing one. Banana fritters. Have you ever had a deep fried banana? Oh, they're so good. But in reality, I like all you guys equally and you are all very cool and you are all very welcome on my channel. Judah Ball says, been a long time supporter of the channel. I'm so proud of you for all you have accomplished. Keep chasing the dream. Out of all the episodes you have done, has there ever been a time where you feel the grind of it all, where it doesn't seem fun anymore and it feels just like a job? And how do you combat that feeling? Oh, okay, here we go. YouTube is a bit of a balance of what I want to make versus what the people want to watch. When you're in the sweet spot, it's what you're making and what people want to watch. They align. There has been times where it feels like a grind constantly, especially over the past year where I've been running out of ideas for, let's say, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and I don't really want to do it anymore because I've hit the point where I can't give anymore, and if I am going to do more of it, it's going to affect me negatively. And so that's one of the ways you combat that feeling, is eventually you just draw a line and you say, hold on, no, this is my boundary. I'm not moving past that. If I'm not enjoying myself, then hopefully my subscribers who subscribe to me because they enjoy my stuff would understand. Thanks, Judah. Great question. T-Money Plays says, mind-blowing. It is. Green Gamer Penguin says, hey, Mr. A, congratulations on 10 years. The first video of your channel I ever watched was of you and JP completing Tears of the Kingdom shrines blindfolded.
Did you write that this one? Yep, okay. So what you're seeing to your left...
I'm seeing nothing. How did you meet Steph and JP? Great question. JP and I grew up together through school. From our very first day of primary school, or elementary school for the Freedom Unit people, all the way to the end of high school, we were at school together. So JP and I have been in each other's lives since we were like 5 years old. How crazy is that? He's like my brother. Like, he honestly is my brother. And I met Steph online. It's not as fun when you say it like that. You know, JP had this whole backstory and I'm like, oh, I met Steph online. Joe Cool says, happy 10 years, Mr. A-Game. It's been a long ride. How many video game art books do you have and which is your favorite? All right. Let's go to the living room. We have the Zelda books over here. We've got books that come with special editions of games and just cool books. We'll get to cool books last, all right? That's later. We've got Creating a Champion, we've got the Hyrule Historia, and we've got the Art and Artifacts, and we've got the Zelda Encyclopedia. This is a little art book from Mario Maker. I think it's pretty funny. Just like, it's got some cool, silly Mario Maker-esque art. This came with Metroid Dread. Also some very nice art to go with a fantastic game. Just really cool concept art and boss battles and all that kind of stuff. This is from the special edition of Astral Chain. Very underrated game. I hope they get like a Switch 2 patch soon, but just cool art, just of characters and yes. Cool. Here's the Tears of the Kingdom art book from the special edition. Ah, yes, Phantom Ganon. Ugh. This is a Splatoon art book from Splatoon 1. I was so impatient to buy this that I bought it in Japanese, and then as soon as I bought it in Japanese, they released an English translated version. Thanks, guys. I've done a video on this art book. If you want to go watch it, it'll be up in the corner there. This is such a cool art book. I think this one is my favorite. The Super Mario Odyssey art. There is just like so much storyboarding and concept art and everything to go with all of the kingdoms inside this game. This is my favorite art book. It's just so cool. But then crazy obscure art book, a Pokemon card game art collection. I bought this the first time I was in Japan in 2016. It just has art of Pokemon cards. Super fun. It's even got a Pikachu section of just Pikachu Pokemon cards. I think this is like the silliest, funniest one. JBH Cricket says, what is your favorite sport and who is your childhood idol? All right, here we go. I am from Australia and I love Australian rules football. I go for the Adelaide Crows. We were in the gutters for the past 8 years, and this year, finally, we became a top team. And then we made it to the finals, and we bombed out in straight sets. When I was a little kid, there was a footy player called Tony Modra. He was the talk of the town. He would jump up on people and take the biggest specky marks in history. You know when people talk about aura these days? He had it. People called him Godra. In the 1997 final series where the Crows won, in the finals, he did his knee. He missed out on the grand final that year. In 1998, the Crows went back-to-back for premiers, but in the final series, he played a stinker of a game and our coach Malcolm Blight dropped him. He didn't play in the grand final. He was so angry, he left. One of the biggest mistakes of football history. Tony Modra leaves the Adelaide Crows and goes to play for Fremantle. We were never the same again. We were never the same again. Laura A. Grace says, so many congrats. I know you've been watching One Piece, but can't remember if you've shared about your favorite characters. So my question is, who are your favorite characters? Yes, all right, cool. I get to talk about One Piece. Over the past year, I have been binging One Piece. I have started at episode 1 and I'm currently up to episode 457. I honestly love Luffy so much. I think he is the most stupid yet so kind-hearted person and just someone who just loves his friends so much that he would do anything for them. I also love Nami and Nico Robin purely just because they are the two women who are just level-headed. Their backstories, unbelievable. You go through some of the lowest lows on that show and you find out their truly harrowing experiences. And then you find Luffy who comes along and says, I don't care, join my crew, be my friend. Unbelievable. It's unlike any show you'll ever watch in history. It's just so good. Okay, good. I got that off my chest. Thank you for listening. Ariana Sophia says, what's your favorite Taylor Swift song and happy 10 years on YouTube? Alrighty. My favorite Taylor Swift song is Wonderland from the 1989 album. Such a banger. And it's like at the end of the album, so people don't really hear it, but when you hear it, it's so good. One of my moderators, Buckeye Sean, has given us a very contemplative question. There have been so many people to come and go through your community. What are some of the persons/acts that have influenced you to who you are today? Who has shaped you to think about things a bit differently? I think one of the biggest influences on this channel has been Mr. R, one of our moderators. He has been one of the people who has really taught me just to be patient. And honestly, I don't get it right all the time. But Mr. R is one of those people who just understands where people are at and understands everyone is different, and a lot of people online are young as well. There needs to be a lot of grace and respect both ways when it comes to live streaming. I think if I were to think about the people who have kind of changed my way of thinking, especially in this online space, Mr. R, you're a real homie. Mr. Kin has 3 questions. What is a game you'd love to experience for the first time? Oh, Super Mario Galaxy, no questions asked. Imagine experiencing the wonder of Mario in space again. What is one skill outside of gaming that you've developed thanks to your channel? Oh, dude, are you ready for this? I have learned to manage my own business. I have learned how to delegate tasks. I have learned how to video edit. I've learned how to produce. I've learned how to film. I've learned how to sound record. I've learned how to stream. I've learned how to broadcast. There are so many skills that come with this. What is a misconception people have about running a gaming channel? It is not sitting down and playing video games all day. I would say about 1 hour of playing a video game equates to about 10 hours of editing. That's the reality of making YouTube videos. It's not sitting down and playing Minecraft with your buddies all day. You need to make something that people want to watch. The Reaper says, woo, 10 years of A-game. What is your dream car and what do you currently drive? Ever since playing Need for Speed Underground 2, my favorite car is the Lancer Evo 8 or even the Lancer Evo 10. I currently drive a 2012 Mitsubishi Lancer. It's not an Evo, but look, it has a sick exhaust and it makes a cool noise, but it's very slow. Here Marley asks, what is your childhood game you played and on what console? Dude, I grew up on the streets of the Super Nintendo and Donkey Kong Country. That was my first video game ever. What a high standard to start video games on. We didn't have the stupid Roblox. We didn't have Minecraft. We didn't have Fortnite. We had Donkey Kong Country. The Basement asks, now that you're through with Zelda content, is there a channel that you could recommend for more Zelda stuff? Quinn Bobin's a really good one. Justin Bay does really good Zelda content spanning over multiple streams as well. If you really want to check them out, you should probably do that. And you could probably also watch The Basement as well. We should probably collab soon. Thorn Fox asks, question, who is your favorite viewer? My favorite viewer is someone who's been watching for a very long time. Her name is Heidi Kim. Wait, she just got married. Her name is no longer Heidi Kim. She's just been a real OG fan. I still remember that time we played Mario Kart on stream years ago and she won. Dolphin Shoals, I remember it was me and her. She was front running. She kept all of my items at bay. She won. Unbelievable. Great stuff. Oh my gosh, look at that. Heidi Kim says 10 years, that's an achievement. What is something you would tell your younger self when you first started the channel? Man, that's unbelievable. Thank you, Heidi Kim, first of all, for watching so long and for asking a question. That is great. The big thing I would tell myself would be never to say never. There have been so many times where on this channel I have said no, and that no has turned out to be, you know what? Let's give it a go. And I think it's been a humbling experience for me, learning to not dismiss things purely just because I don't like them or I have some preconceived idea about them. Taking things on board when people ask to do stuff and me not automatically saying, no, I don't want to do that, that's dumb. Because in reality, things change. I don't want to be stuck in my ways of saying no all the time, when in reality, sometimes there are new audiences when you say yes. I'm nearly out of coffee, guys. We're running thin. A human ZR laughs manically and then asks, how many amiibo do you have? All right, let's go again. These are my 3 shelves of amiibo. The first 2 rows are Smash Brothers amiibo and Splatoon amiibo. The next row is a combination of Metroid, Donkey Kong, there's an Animal Crossing amiibo that I got in mail time, then all my Zelda and Mario amiibo, very cool. We've got the Yoshi amiibo, and then special amiibo, we've got this big yarn Yoshi here, and then also gold and silver Mario, which are still unopened. All in all, that is 160 amiibo. Yes, that is a lot of amiibo, isn't it? I've spent way too much money. And there we have it. Everyone, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to everyone who asked questions or who have liked or watched or commented over the past 10 years. The hairs are graying. Do you see that? The hairs are going gray. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you guys continue to watch over the next who knows how many years I keep doing this, because in reality, who knows what's going to happen in the future. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hype the video if you can, share it with a friend. Why don't you find someone and be like, hey, I've watched this guy for almost 10 years. You should watch him too. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. Remember to bring your A game.